Don't even go there. Ade, don't go there. My last real estate investment in Lagos, Nigeria was a disaster. I was even lucky not to have been attacked by some violent land grabbers. A whole lot of people are telling us different things, and when we get to site, we found out that what they have said was contrary to what we met. So, as far as I'm concerned, I'm done with Lagos. This obviously was a reaction of a real estate investor I spoke with recently about acquiring a particular location. If this is also a similar experience you have faced, welcome to this channel. Do well to subscribe, relax, and we will talk more about this after this short timeout. Don't go nowhere. You're welcome back. Hope you all are doing well today. If I returning subscriber, thank you very much for staying and of course following us. If you are a new viewer, thank you very much. Do well to subscribe. Give us a thumbs like, share this video, and I can assure you that you are going to have another insightful session with us today. So on today's episode, I'm going to be talking extensively on how to minimize the risk of losing your real estate investment, and a whole lot of people are not familiar with some of these things. Many people are familiar, but my first introduction was a reaction of a real estate investor I had an interaction with, because I was asking him I was showing him a particular location that was very good for investment, and that was his reaction, not mine. So that was why I said I'm going to do today's video, so that I can share more light and give people important information as about safeguarding and of course minimizing the risk of losing your investment. Now, if you want to minimize the risk of losing your investment in Lagos, don't prioritize cheapness over value, over integrity, over track record. Now, I've said this several times and I'm going to say it again. Some of the problems that most people are facing today in their different real estate investment that they've bought was due to the fact that many of them ignored warning sign of problem. They ignore warning sign of scam. Now, you see, 60% of people who are scammed today in Lagos, Nigeria, are people who bought because of price. Now, I understand that price is one of the major factors that determines if you will invest in real estate or not. I understand fact that you will definitely not want to break the bank simply because you want to own real estate. Price plays an important role, so I must not undermine the impact of price, but I should also create a clarity for you to understand. Basically, is that people understand that one of the ways they can get your attention is to call ridiculous price, and one of the ways they can easily scam you is to sell way below the market price. And that's why when you're investing in Lagos, it is very important that when you are buying, you should work with somebody that understands the actual value. Now, when you're working with somebody that understands the actual value, the person will be in a better position to tell you if the price offered is ridiculous, and of course will also expose you to higher chances if you will be scammed. So don't prioritize price over integrity, don't prioritize price over value, and don't prioritize price over track record. Now, if you can do your visibility study to confirm if that price is genuine, then you are good to go. Presently, there's a project that we're presently offering to real estate investors in Abijo GRA. It's a 4-bedroom terrace duplex in the heart of GRA. And when I saw the price too, I did not believe it. But after doing numerous due diligence, numerous fact findings, I found out that the property was genuine. And of course, I understood that the reason why the developer is selling for that particular reason is due to the fact that larger part of the construction of that apartment was done last year, where the prices of building materials was not skyrocketed. And of course, this man wanted to just make the property affordable and of course get people to invest. So now there is a justification for that price. Now, it is very important to understand that in some places you can't get an apartment for 50 million. In some places, that same 50 million they are selling the terraces cannot get you whether it's apartment or even 1 bedroom. So you need to understand that there are complexities to prices, and you have to do what we call a valuation of that place to ascertain if the price is genuine or if it's a scam. It is very important. The next thing you should also do if you want to minimize the risk of losing your real estate investment in Lagos basically is that you should stick with the sales agreement that you have with the seller. Now, there have been several instances whereby a lot of real estate investors have shot themselves in the leg. They have put themselves in a position whereby the real estate developer can easily exploit them. And what is that? Default. A lot of people have started property purchase. They've made payment to an extent, and to some level, they are off the scene. Now, in a situation whereby you may be having some challenges or some difficulties, the appropriate thing you're supposed to do if you don't want to miss out on that property is that you're supposed to write to the real estate development company, informing them of your certain situation you are facing and the reason why you may not be able to pay. Okay, let the developer be aware if there will be a month or a period of time where the payments will not come as at when due, as you guys have both agreed on. Now, you see, when you don't pay, you are giving real estate developers or property seller an opportunity to exploit you. Now, or someone will say, I've paid, what I'm owing is just 1 million, it's just 2 million. In as much as fact that there's a default, your chances of losing on that property is very, very important. So my advice basically is that choose the one you can comfortably pay with and stick to the payment plan. Now, the next thing you should also do basically, if you don't want to risk the chances of losing out your real estate investment, is that if you are buying off plan, do not do lengthy payment plan. Most times my advice basically is that if you must buy off plan, you should not do anything that is the minimum of 6 months and the maximum of 12 months, and I will explain. Now, we are in economics instability. We're present in economic instability in Nigeria, where inflation is affecting the progress of several building projects, and a reasonable real estate developer will definitely not want to do an investment that will get stuck. And you also need to understand basically that if you don't want to lose your real estate investment, if the developer is saying, okay, fine, I'm delivering the first phase of building in the next 6 months, in the next 8 months, try as much as possible to be among the first 6 or the first 8. Now, the reason basically is due to the fact that the ovation or the motivation for that building is always at the first 2 or 3 or 5 units of allocations. By the time they have built, they've done allocation once, twice, 3 times, and you are not there, the tendency for you to lose out is very important. I'm not saying if you have not been allocated, you have been duped. Please let me create a lot of clarity to my statement so that I will not be misquoted. What I'm saying basically is that in situation whereby there are series of allocations and you are not there and it's an off plan, you also need to understand the terms for the sales. Like, there are some real estate development companies that their own policy is that they don't construct your house until you have paid 50% of the property price. I've seen it. Now, I've been reading a lot of terms and conditions. I've been reading a lot of contract, and I'm beginning to understand. I have a video where I talked extensively on some important clauses you need to understand when you are buying real estate. Of course, the video will pop. You can also check it out. So understand the terms. So your 10 million naira initial deposit, your 5 million naira initial deposit does not guarantee you a unit. No, understand the conditions. Some would say at 50%, your property will be built. They will start the construction of your house. While some will say at 75%, you will be allocated. Some will say allocation is upon 100%. Make sure that you stick with their terms, because so if you don't want to hear stories after several months or years of waiting and you have paid for the apartment, you have not been allocated. And these are the major reasons why a lot of people are having issues and they've not been allocated to the property they have bought. Okay, more importantly, the off plan, the houses that they've bought. Then the next thing you also want to do, if you want to minimize the risk of losing your property, is that if you have bought a landed property, do not hold statutory fees. I've met and interacted with some real estate investors who seemed from my interaction with them that they don't understand some of the basic principle of investing. Now, some would say, I've paid for the land, I am still waiting to pay for the statutory fee. Or my realtor told me that if I've paid for the land, I can relax. It's a lie, you. You see, you need to understand basically that in this our industry, some, not all, because when I'm making assertion, when I'm making giving valuable points like this, I always don't want to be misquoted, and I always give my points, and of course everything I explain can be verified at your own leisure time. Now, some I've come to realize that realization that a lot of people are just enriching real estate developers with their payment the moment you are owing. Now, some real estate developers are looking for an opportunity to exploit you, and you will empower them if you start your transaction and you don't pay off. That's just a fact. In fact, because I've even seen that some of the contract, some of the deed of assignment that most of them have given to their real estate developer, their real estate clients, is due to the fact that they have enacted most of these things, and you give them an opportunity to exploit you. So don't hold transaction fee. A lot of people have bought land 2021, 2022. They've not paid their statutory fee. See, there might be stories, because you need to understand that you're not the only person they sold to. A lot of people have bought into that estate, okay, and some of them operate on the basis of first come first serve. Now, you have bought property 2 years, 3 years, you have not paid your statutory fees. Before you continue your payment, kindly find out if you still have a plot of land there, so that you won't pay and you find there will be stories. Sure, you see. So that's one of the things you do. Do not hold statutory fees. The next thing you also want to do basically is that upon allocation, take full possession of your land. There was a scenario of one we are presently settling in one of our estates. Two people were allocated beside each other. Now, the first person that got allocated decided to, work on this piece of land, and in the process of doing, a surveyor encroached on the other person's land, and the case presently is, we are still trying to settle it. Now, you see, if you have been allocated and you don't take full possession of the land, situations like this are bound to happen. The issue of encroachment, I know a lot of people have told you, it's a company land, it's an estate land, such things will not happen. Now, the thing is that the reason why something may happen may due to the fact that most of these developers have sold may not even go there 2, 3, 4, 5 years after selling. So sometimes if there are some internal issues, you will have to set them how beyond yourself. So take possession of your land. If it is an untitled property, endeavor to perfect. Remember, I told you that if you have an untitled, if you don't have a title on your land, as far as Lagos is concerned, you don't have a land, and that is truth. So if there's a need for you to perfect your title, fence it, do something on it. Even if you are not ready to build, lease it out. If you are not ready to build, rent it out. Let Omonile see that there are activities on your land. These are some of the things that discourage them from going back to take the possession. Once they see that there are activities on the land, and of course they will know that you have taken full possession, then the final point is that diversify. Now, because government policies are not static, anything can happen. Diversify your investment. Don't just put all eggs in one basket. Have properties. Don't limit your idea of real estate to just buying land, keeping it, or buying house, building. No, extend your horizon of real estate. I'm going to cite an example of an esteemed real estate investor. I met him recently, and I looked at his real estate portfolio, and I'm impressed. This man has property in the Bejuleki axis where the refinery is, and the property he has a C of O. And this man also have a rental properties in Yaba, and he also have a short-let property in Oregun Ikeja. And of course, once that property is completed, the developer will remit 1 million to him every month. This man also bought a mall. He bought a shopping space in a mall. So when you're talking about now, basically it's preparing for retirement. I have a video where I spoke extensively on why you should create a profitable real estate investment portfolio, and this is how the way this particular investor has done it is the way you are supposed to do it. That for you, if you really want a real estate investment that will give you good return. So you just don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't just limit your idea of real estate to just land banking or buying land and building and renting it. No, shopping mall is part of real estate investment. buying office spaces or building for office spaces is also another profitable real estate investment that a lot of people are not exploring. Buying building fuel stations, having event malls are part of real estate. And owning multiple rental properties. The most important thing is that the moment you've been able to diversify, you have spread your real estate investment portfolio, you have spread your wealth, and you can be in a position to say you can rent rental income as long as you have, keep, and of course you maximize that property. So in conclusion, what you should do basically is that diversify. Don't put all eggs in one basket. Now, a lot of people have been complaining that they don't see me advertise properties, and because I don't post properties, they don't know that I recommend and I sell properties too. So on my shorts, I'll be putting properties for that are available for sale, property that have been adequately verified and of course safe for purchase. And once in a while, in one of my lengthy videos like this, I will also post some. So that is it. So for the fact that I don't post doesn't mean I'm not selling. I may not post, but if you see something that really interests you, you can send it to me, we'll verify, and of course we'll help you purchase it. So that is one of the things I do. So if you are ready to create a profitable real estate investment portfolio using the example of my esteemed real estate investor, we can help you achieve that. And of course, you will be glad you worked with us. Until I come your way in another insightful, educative, and of course inspiring episode of Property Matters, do well to subscribe once again, turn on the notification bell, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now. God bless you.